So last spring during vacation, in these 5 to maybe 12, 15 super gusty winds, I fell back in love with winging. And winging, maybe it's also because I haven't winged in a while. It's actually fun. And in this series, I'm gonna compare different wind wings and see which one I'm gonna keep. Thank you so much to Ride Engine to supporting this series. This is the Airbox Mini. This helps me to inflate wings, and even though it is super small, it actually inflates up to, I would say, 10 wings, which is super nice. I didn't use it only for myself, I also lent it to friends for their sup, for their wings, just so you know, you could do something else. So thank you very much, Ride Engine, to support this series. Now let's talk about the Flysurfer wings, and I had the TAO 5.2, and I used the AVID 4.5. And now you can say, well, why do you compare different sizes? It's just what I got. And Stan from Flysurfer was generous enough to lend me these for a couple of weeks for me to test. And honestly, the size difference, even though it is quite significant on the water, you don't feel it that much. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So let's just have a look at what you get if you get a Flysurfer wing. And this is the bag that comes with it. And the cool thing about this bag is not only it is long enough to put the wing in, and I had bags that were just a little bit on the short side. They wanted to make it super compact, but then it was a pain to get it in. This one, it fits the wing very well. It's not way too big, but it's generous enough. Also, you get these clips where you can attach the wing so it doesn't move around in the bag. What I used with the Flysurfer were these leashes. And the cool thing about these leashes, not only are they super comfortable, but you have this thick Velcro that when you put it around you, you have one Velcro on the bottom and one on the top. And you still have a hook for your harness, which is super cool. So if you hook it in here, you don't need a second belt. So super comfortable. The only problem there is the size, like the length of these lines, especially with the TAO, it was just a little bit on the short side. So if you wanted to turn your wing around, you had to get around it, then it was just a little bit too short. So these ones, you could add maybe 20 centimeters, not more. That would help a lot. The TAO is a Dacron wing, so it's a classic wind wing. As I've said, this is 5.2. And I got it with the boom. This is a carbon boom, and I wasn't sure, so I just took off a little bit of the grip to see. It's actually carbon. No, just kidding. It's actually my ring that actually took off a little bit of the protection here. It's really carbon, and I took it off here. You have to take some screws off and see how heavy it is, and I'm gonna have all the measurements of all the wings in a spreadsheet that you can find on my website uponfoil.com. So during that series you can always see the differences in weight, in size, and configurations of all these wings. Now, what you notice immediately if you pick up this wing, it feels light. It is super comfortable also because the edges are not super long, so they are short edges. The middle strut is quite long, so if you pump or taxi, you usually don't hit the water with your wingtip, which is super comfortable. Then this wing has a lot of low-end grunt, maybe because the front tube is quite thick, but it's not too thick, so as soon as you're flying, it still pulls you very well forward, and it doesn't feel like there's too much drag at all. So really comfortable. And I use this wing in marginal conditions, maybe under 10 knots, super easy to pump up. I also use it in over 20, 25 knots, and it was super comfortable. Depower was very easy, and you know, with the bar especially, you can hold it wherever you want. So a good low end, pretty decent top end as well. Really comfortable. It's Dacron, so it is on the heavier side maybe, but as soon as you have enough wind, you didn't really feel it. Also, when I tried to do some tacks, some jibes, some spinning the wing around, that went super easy with that wing. So handling was very comfortable. What I noticed with this wing was that if I pumped it, then I really needed to find the rhythm because the fabric was not as tight as with other wings. So you really need to find the good rhythm for pumping so that you can get that fabric back in. But it was really no issue. I like this wing a lot. Let me talk to you about what I don't like too much with this wing, because there are three things where I think this is not perfect still. One, and that's just something that, you know, maybe it's due to the lack of level that I have. The front part of this handle is hard plastic. So if I hit the board with this front part, the plastic part, I could ding it. I could maybe even make a hole. So here some padding would really be helpful. And as long as we're speaking about the bar, like the connection point from the boom, not the bar, from the boom to the wing is not super solid. Like here, some reinforcements would be super nice because they seem super comfortable and quite direct in what you want. But this little movement here just adds a little bit of latency. So that maybe is something that could get improved. And the last part, as you can see, there are no windows. Now first I thought, well, this is terrible, especially as I come from parawinging now. I don't see a lot. But even if you had windows, they're not at the right place anyway. So you always have to lift your wing in order to see what's underneath, right? Maybe a window would be helpful, but you know, it is what it is. No window here. But yeah, super comfortable wing. Now let's compare this wing to the Avid. And this one is the UPE Aramid wing, which immediately you feel this is a lot lighter. It's got the same carbon bar and it is a little bit smaller, let's be honest. But you know, honestly, I used it in the same wind. Sometimes it wasn't enough, sometimes it was gusty, but I think it has more or less the same low end. Let me tell you why in a second. First of all, the differences between those two is the front tube is a little bit thinner. Also, the central strut is thinner. It's probably due to that lighter and more solid material where we can really pump it maybe a bit harder. It stays a little bit more solid. So if we compare the form factor, the TAO was more straight in the leading edge and then made the curve late. This one is more curved from the beginning, which makes it actually a bit more reactive. So it's not just the size that makes it more agile, but also the form factor. But where this wing really shines is not only because it's faster, because it's got a little smaller leading edge, a little smaller strut, but it is actually this part here. So with this one, you can have a way higher cadence in pumping, which makes it really great in the low end. So it's not that I have to wait until the fabric is ready to get pumped again. This one I can pump a lot faster, which gets me up faster than other wings. So this one, I would even say, has almost the same low end as its bigger cousin. So that's just something that I noticed. The wing itself has the same disadvantages as the other one. Two things with Flysurfer, or maybe three things. One, it's that hard edge. Please put some padding on, then make the connection from the boom to the middle strut a little bit stronger. And also, I mean, I can't see anything. Just make a little window. That wouldn't hurt, right? If I had to pick one of these wings, it would certainly be the Avid. Even though it's priced a little higher, and here you can see the price for the Avid, here you can see the price for the TAO, I would still choose this one. All right, I think that's been it for Flysurfer. In the next reviews, I'm gonna get some Ensis wings, some Cocoon wings, I'm gonna get some PPC wings, some AFS wings. So if you're curious about what your next wing might be, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Make sure to check out other videos that I've done about wings. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.